Good afternoon, students. Yesterday we read the story about the girl, bholi, from your book Footprint Without Feet. Today we will read the story further, but before that, we will recapitulate the story. So, you know that the story is about a girl, Sulekha or Bholi, who suffered from a lot of problems like she stammered, she had lack of sense, and she had poke marks on her face, and the family did not support her at all. They did not bother about her, they did not take care of her. So Bholi was so innocent. She was considered like a dumb cow in her house, or among the family members. So this girl Bholi, her life got changed when she got admitted in the school. Her father got her admitted in the school, and the teacher was so polite. She asked her name, and Bholi got encouraged because for the very first time, someone spoke so politely with her. So the teacher encouraged her to tell her name, and the girl tried. Finally, she was able to speak properly. She gathered the courage to speak. She gathered the courage to learn. So the teacher asked her to come to school every day. This way the years passed. इस तरीके से बहुत साल बीत गए. Bholi got educated. Now one day, the father got a proposal of marriage from a man, Bishambarnath. Though the mother considered him the right match, but the father was quite confused. He was quite confused. The reason was that the man, Bishambarnath, was as old as Bholi's father. Next problem was that his children were around the age of Bholi, as well as he limped, but mothers thought that he was the right match because he did not know anything about Bholi, anything like neither about the poke marks nor about her lack of sense. ना तो उसे भोली के दाग धब्बे के बारे में पता था और ना ही उसकी lack of sense के बारे में पता था. तो mother thought कि that they should accept the proposal, but father was quite concerned that Bholi would not be ready about this. So the mother thought that they shouldn't ask Bholi, they should directly accept the proposal. Bholi was listening everything. She was listening the conversation between mother and father. She did not say anything. She thought that if her father and mother were happy, so she would accept the proposal. She would not deny. So let's see what will happen further in the story. Yes, the bridegroom, Vishambarnath, who was a rich man, he had a grocery shop. When he used to sell food items and household goods, he had a good business. On the wedding day, he came with his friends and family. They were accompanied by a brass band which was playing popular tunes from Hindi movies. Finally, the parents accepted Bishambarnath's proposal and the wedding was fixed. So the grocer, Bishambarnath, grocer means the person who sells household goods or food items. Okay. Finally, the groom came with the procession. Procession means a lot of relatives and friends were taking part in his wedding, and there was a band of musicians who were playing the tunes of Hindi movies. There was a splendor, like lavishness of the wedding, the barat could be seen. So the bridegroom was riding a decorated horse, as we know that how the Indian weddings are. So the bridegroom came on the decorated horse. Ramlal was so happy to see all this. He had never dreamt of such a grand wedding for his fourth daughter. Why Ramlal could not think about such lavish wedding or grand wedding? Because they thought that Bholi was not a suitable girl for anyone because she had lack of sense, she stammered, and she had poke marks. They thought nobody would marry her. But finally, Ramlal could see a lavish barat, a bridegroom who was ready to marry his daughter, fourth daughter. So he was so happy that the Bharat came with the pomp and show. Bholi's elder sisters, they were jealous. Why they were jealous? Because they could never think about such kind of wedding for their sister. They were getting jealous of her good luck. So when the auspicious moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." Auspicious mean that good moment came, the lucky moment came when the priest asked for the girl. So Bholi, clad in red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. So now Bholi was brought. She was wearing red color dress. Clad means she was wearing that dress, and her face was covered, and she sat in front of the sacred fire. Garland the bride, one of his friend prompted means said to Bishambarnath. So now the time came when Bishambar had to put the garland around her neck. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds. Marigolds mean flowers. A woman slipped back. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigold. A woman slipped back the silken veil. Veil is like a cover, okay, which the women used to have with the dupatta and other things. So the bride face was a bit seen. तो उस औरत ने उसका थोड़ा सा चेहरा देखा. And Bishambar also had a quick glance. Glance meant he was able to see her face. Then he noticed that there were some poke marks on her face. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. So Bholi covered her face with the veil. "Have you seen her?" said Bishambar to his friend. So Bishambar told his friend that there were some poke marks on her face. She had poke marks on her face. The friend said, "So what? You are not young either." He told the bridegroom that if the girl had poke marks, so Bishambar was also old. If the girl was ready to marry him, so then he should also ignore her poke marks. "Maybe, but if I am to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees." So now Bishambar showed his actual face like actual personality, that what kind of man he was. He was such a greedy man. When he noticed that Bholi had poke marks, then he kept a condition in front of the girl's family, that he would marry the girl only if the father would give him 5,000 rupees. Just see that such kind of people exist in this society. So the father was shocked because they were so happy that Vishambar was such a nice man, but now they got to know that how greedy he was. Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor. We know that turban of the girl's father is like an honor, respect. एक पगड़ी जो बाप की होती है, that is considered to be everything. But he was forced to keep his turban in front of the bridegroom or in his feet. "Do not humiliate me. Take 2,000 rupees. Humiliate means insult. So the father requested him that he should not insult him. He was not able to give him 5,000 rupees. He asked or he requested to accept 2,000 rupees. But Bishambar was rigid. He was adamant that he would want only 5,000 rupees, otherwise he would go back. He asked him to keep his daughter. He would take the barat back. "Be a little considerate, please." Considerate means thoughtful. "Please think about my reputation. If you would go back, I can never show my face in the village." Who said these dialogues? Father, girl's father, means Bholi's father. Then Bishambar said, "Take out 5,000 rupees if you don't want the barat to go back." Tears were coming down from his face. Ramlal was crying because he was feeling insulted, as well as he didn't want the barat to go back. Otherwise people would laugh at him. He opened the safe and counted the notes. He placed the bundle of 5,000 rupees at his feet. On Bishambar's greedy face appeared a smile. Triumphant smile mean triumphant mean he felt like he got victory. He achieved something. Whatever he wanted, he got that. He had gambled and won. Gambled mean it was like a bet that he had played and he had won it, because he demanded 5,000 rupees and he kept a condition in front of the girl's father, and the father was forced to accept, because he didn't want his daughter to be humiliated, didn't want himself to be insulted in front of the villagers, so he had no other option. Give me the garland, he announced. When Bishambar got 5,000 rupees, he had a triumphant smile. He was feeling proud of himself that he forced the father to do so. And then he accepted the proposal and asked for the garland. Now he was ready to put the garland around the girl's neck. Once again, the veil was slipped back. Now Bholi's face was shown, and her eyes were not downcast. She was looking in front of the groom's eyes. She was looking straight into at her husband. And in her eyes, there was neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt. Contempt means there was disrespect for the bridegroom, because Bishambar had shown his real face. Real face is real personality. Bishambar raised the garland to place around the girl's neck, but before he could do, Bholi's hand stuck out like a streak of lightning and garland was flung into the fire. So as the bridegroom was ready to place the garland around her neck, she just snatched it, उसने उसे garland को खींचा and put it into the or threw it into the fire. She got up and threw away the veil. अब वो खड़ी हो गई अपनी जगह से, and she removed her veil from her face. She threw the garland into the fire because she was not ready to marry such greedy man. Pitaji, take your money back. I'm not going to marry this man. Ramlal was surprised. Thunderstruck mean he was shocked. What the girl said. The guest began to whisper. Whisper mean they started speaking slowly. So shameless, so ugly, so shameless. Whom they were calling shameless and ugly? Think about it. They were calling bholi as shameless. Just imagine our society. कैसी society है हमारी जो जिन्हें प्राउड फील होना चाहिए गर्ल्स पे, जो किसी ग्रीडी मैन से शादी नहीं करना चाहती. Rather, they are calling her shameless. Rather, they are calling her ugly. Just see. Who is shameless actually? The groom who is demanding dowry. Bholi, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family? Have you some regard for our ijjat? So Bholi's father was shocked to see that Bholi was denying to get married. For the sake of your ijjat, I was willing to marry this lame old man. But I will not marry such greedy man. I won't. Now Bholi told her decision to her family that she could marry an old man, but she could not marry a greedy and mean person. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a dumb cow. Dumb cow means she would not speak anything. Bholi turned violently to the old man who was saying so. Auntie, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb cow. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. Who is heartless creature here? Right. Bishambar is heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool, is speaking. Do you want to hear more? So she scolded that lady and she was standing for herself. Bishambar Nath, the grocer, started to go back with his party. Party mean the barat. The confused bandsman thought that was the end of the ceremony, stuck up a closing song. तो बैंड वाले सोच रहे थे कि उनको कौन सा सॉन्ग बजाना चाहिए, whether the wedding was over. So finally Bholi decided that she would not marry such a greedy person. Ramlal stood rooted to the ground. He was stuck there. His head was bowed low with the weight of pain and shame. The father was feeling sorry for the daughter. He was feeling shame. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died. The fire was extinguished. Everyone was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, "What about you? No one will ever marry you. What shall we do with you?" But Sulekha said in a voice with calm and steady, "Don't you worry, Pitaji. In your old age, I will serve you and mother. I will teach the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that, ma'am?" So the father was worried that nobody would marry his daughter because she sent the barat back. But Bholi said that if nobody would marry her, she would survive on her own. She would serve her parents because she was educated, she was independent, and the teacher was standing in the corner and watching the drama. "Yes, Bholi," she replied, and in her smiling eyes was the light of a deep satisfaction. Why the teacher was feeling satisfaction? Because she could see the girl who came into the school for the first day and she was not able to speak her name. Now, after years and after getting education, she was able to speak against injustice. वो लड़की जो कभी अपना नाम भी नहीं बोल पाती थी, आज वो अपने लिए और अन्याय के खिलाफ खड़ी है. Isn't it? So it was the deep satisfaction like an artist feels when contemplating the completion of her masterpiece. As an artist complete the painting and he feels satisfaction, similarly the teacher was feeling satisfaction as the education she has provided to a girl, she has become independent. So do you think that Bholi did the right thing? She denied to get married. Do you think she was right? Yes, obviously she was right, because a greedy man can never be a right match for a girl. So just because Bholi got educated, that's why she was able to speak against injustice. Otherwise, she wouldn't say anything and she would get married to such a greedy man. And who knows that he would keep asking for more money later on. फिर वो बाद में भी वैसे मांगता रहता. So what is the theme of the chapter? The theme of the story is that the story Bholi is the impact of family on children. The story hints that why family support and emotional security are essential for the proper growth of child. तो family का support हमेशा हर बच्चे को चाहिए, है ना बेटा? A disabled child must be given encouragement, love and education like the normal people. See, the people who are not like normal people, they should also be given education, they should also be given love, they should be given encouragement, so that they will feel confident and they will feel like they also are independent. This is the support of the family. So finally Bholi was able to speak because she was educated. So education also plays a very important role, and the family support also plays a very important role in a child's life. I hope you understood the chapter. Please do the given assignment and also ask if there is any query. Okay? Please keep sending the homework on time, because homework will be very useful for your assessment. Okay?